Number 6, the Soldier. The Soldier is definitely a good frontline player, so much so that he almost made it higher on the list. I mean, he has a freaking rocket launcher. When is that never useful on the front line? Fire a rocket into a crowd of bots and you're taking out a good chunk of them. And let's not forget the buff banner. Deal some mass death to smaller bots in the beginning, pull out the banner when the tank comes out, and about 30 seconds later, there's no more tank. The problem is that in MVM, the Soldier is far from invincible. This is due to the Soldier's 200 HP and slow running speed, making him an easy to hit and easy to kill target. Also, the Soldier is really only effective as a frontline player. Still, so long as the Soldier stays close to a heavy, he should be a big help to the team.
Now that is what I want to see!
Number 5, the Demo Man. Like the Soldier, the Demo Man is very effective as a frontline player. I mean, this guy does live to blow shit up. The grenade launcher can be used to take out mobs of smaller bots and deal massive damage to giants and tanks. Plus, the fact that his speed is higher than the Soldier's makes him harder to hit. But the real reason I put him higher on the list is because the Demo Man is also pretty effective on defense too. You can place stickies at the start of the stage to almost decimate the first mob of small bots, or place stickies on the bomb itself to blow up the next bot to pick it up. Oh, and you know those giant scouts that show up, take your entire team by surprise, and races the bomb to spawn? Yeah, if the demo sees a giant scout in the hut at the top, he can place a few stickies at spawn, and you won't have to worry about that thing anymore. But there are some problems with the demo. For one thing, even though he's faster than the Soldier, he has less health, so he's easier to kill. Also, I'm gonna say it, playing as a demo is not easy. Seriously, aiming properly with a grenade launcher can be a difficult thing to do in the thick of battle, due to the fact that the grenades have drop-off. So yeah, the Demo Man can be effective at MVM, but make sure you know what you're doing before you use him.
Thus begins my 1,000-year reign of blood!
Number 4, the Scout. While I wouldn't say the Scout is a good frontline player, his role as a supporting class makes him an almost essential member of any MVM team. I say that because one thing that helps the team keep up with the ever-increasing difficulty of each wave is upgrades purchased at spawn with the money bots drop. This is where the Scout comes in handy. Any class can pick up cash, but the Scout is most effective at this because he is the fastest class out of them all, and is able to run in and out of battle in seconds. Couple this with the fact that his grab radius is the largest out of any class in the game, and picking up cash basically becomes the Scout's designated job. That's not all the Scout can do though. As mentioned before, the Scout can use the Force of Nature to knock bomb-carrying bots in nearby pits. The Scout can also upgrade the Sandman to mark a giant for death and give the powerhouses of the team mini-crits for a short time. And on harder difficulties, the team will take any and all mini-crits they can take. Any drawbacks? Well, while the Force of Nature and the Sandman stuff isn't all that hard, I found the Scout's main job of picking up cash for upgrades while simultaneously not dying to be a bit difficult. Either that or I just suck. So while I found the Scout's job a bit hard, I've seen other people do this flawlessly. And when it is done flawlessly, the team as a whole has a much easier time.
I'm not even winded!
Number 3, the Medic. The Medic is not an offensive class. The Medic is a support class. However, the Medic is so effective at giving this support, I had to put him in the top 3. The Medic's role in MVM goes beyond just healing your comrades. The Medic can also give an Uber to teammates that get surrounded, heal and attack at the same time while protecting the team from bullets with a projectile shield, and even revive fallen party members, which can be essential for waves with lots of giants. The only real downside is that there isn't really much the Medic can do offensively. The syringe gun and its variants don't deal a lot of damage to bots. And even though the previously mentioned projectile shield does deal damage to a lot of enemies, it doesn't do a lot of damage, you can't use it all that often, and you may accidentally waste the shield thanks to it being mapped to the mouse wheel. However, the Medic was never meant to be an offensive class. So long as this is kept in mind, the Medic will be extremely useful. Make sure you have one on the team.
I am the Ubermensch!
Number 2 is the Heavy. Unfortunately, the Heavy does not have an official theme, so you're just gonna have to settle for Moskau Buffalax. The Heavy is a pure powerhouse. To be honest, that's all the Heavy really is. But if the Heavy has plenty of ammo and a medic backing him up,
There is no stopping him.
seriously, his damage output is so high, if you can keep him alive and firing, which isn't very hard to do, the Heavy can bring the bot's progress to a complete halt. The downside is that outside of providing a sandwich to teammates, there's not much else the Heavy can do. Plus, the Heavy must have backup in order to be truly effective. But since the idea of backing up the Heavy is a no-brainer, I don't think the Heavy will go too long without backup. He is a must-have for the team.
Look at me! Look at me! I am hero!
Yep. Number 1 is the Engineer. And frankly, why wouldn't he be? This class is the sole reason the Sentry Buster exists. You won't have to worry too much about a horde of smaller bots if you have a strategically placed sentry. Plus, the Engie can upgrade to get a disposable sentry and place that at spawn to take care of those stupid spawn-kipping scouts, or it can be used to defend a dispenser or teleporter. Oh yeah, and remember what I said earlier about Heavies being unstoppable if they have backup? Well, a well-placed dispenser can easily do that job damn near perfectly. I'll admit, without a sentry of some kind backing him up, he's not a good offensive class. However, he is definitely better at going offensive than the other supporting class. I would list Spies as a weakness to the Engie, but at least in my experience playing MVM, Spies didn't prove too much as a threat towards Engies. Now, Sentry Busters can be a problem if you're not careful, but if you just pick up the sentry, run towards, and then away from the Sentry Buster before it blows up, which isn't hard to do, they really can't do anything. In my mind at least, there is no doubt about it. You want to beat those bots, you need an Engie. And that is why the Engineer is the #1 most useful class for man versus machine.
Built by me. And you best hope not pointed at you.